Number 3. Katie Janness. In the summer of July 2021, 40-year-old Katie Janness lived with her partner, Emma Clark, in Atlanta, Georgia's Midtown area. The couple had been together for 7 years and owned several dogs. Janness and Clark worked in Midtown. Janness was a bartender at an Italian restaurant and improv comedy club, while Clark was a server at a restaurant. Late on the night of July 27, 1982, Janness stopped by the restaurant where Clark was working. Janness told her partner that she was taking their 3-year-old dog, Bowie, for a walk in Piedmont Park, which was about a third of a mile from the restaurant. Janness planned to time the end of the walk with the end of Clark's shift, and they would walk home together. Then Janness and Bowie set off walking towards the park. When Clark finished working, Janness had not returned. Clark called and texted her, but got no response. Clark tracked Janness's phone and saw that she was near one of the entrances to the park. She wasn't moving, so Clark walked to the park. She found a horrifying scene. Her partner of 7 years, 40-year-old Katie Janness, was dead from dozens of stab wounds. About 100 yards away was Bowie, who was also dead from multiple stab wounds. The pathologist determined that Katie had been stabbed over 50 times. The killer used the blade to carve the word "fat" into her torso. The murder weapon has never been found. The police have no suspects in the case. The police have said they do not know if Janness was targeted or if it was a random attack. The police have also not speculated on the motive. However, some in the media and the public have speculated it was a hate crime. Midtown, where Janness lived, worked, and was murdered, is a hub for Atlanta's LGBTQ+ community. However, the police said there is no evidence that it was a hate crime. The police have also not speculated on why the word "fat" was carved into her skin. It's been 4 years since Katie Janness was killed, and the case is considered cold. Number 2. Teresa Martin. In September 1969, 14-year-old Teresa Martin lived in North Montreal, Quebec, Canada, with her family. She had a brother and a sister. Her mother was a principal, and her father was a private investigator. Teresa's family described her as a bright but shy girl. On the night of September 12, 1969, Teresa and 2 of her friends saw a movie at a theater. Around 11 p.m., Teresa got on the bus to go to her family's apartment. She got off the bus about 2 blocks from her home. Tragically, she never made it home, and her parents notified the police. Around 3:30 a.m., hours after 14-year-old Teresa Martin got off the bus, her body was found in the parking lot of a business about 10 miles from the bus stop. She was propped up so her body was in a sitting position with her back against the wall. She was clothed, except she was barefoot. There were no signs of sexual assault. The pathologist determined she had been asphyxiated to death. Carved into the skin of her stomach with a blade was the message, quote, "FV Frenchie, I love you," unquote. The police had no idea what the message meant, nor did they know who wrote it. Teresa's sister, Isabel Maricotti, remembered the day Teresa's body was found. Her father had gone to the morgue to identify the body. He had promised to call home from the morgue with the news. When he called, he lied and told his wife it wasn't Teresa's body because he wanted to break the news to her in person. Maricotti said that as soon as he got home and they saw him, they knew it was Teresa's body that had been found. Very little progress was made in the case in the days, weeks, and eventually months after the murder. In May 1970, the police interviewed a teenage girl, only identified as Joanne H. Joanne wasn't a friend of Teresa and had never met her, but she had heard rumors about who killed her. Joanne said that she and other teen girls hung out with members of a motorcycle club called United Motorcyclists of Quebec, also known as the MUQ. Joanne said that members of the motorcycle club were bullies. She also heard a rumor from several people that one of the bikers had killed Teresa. She also said that they liked to, quote, write on skin, unquote. However, she didn't specify if that meant tattoos or using a blade and exactly whose skin they liked to write on. Whether the police followed up on this lead is unknown. It's been over 56 years since 14-year-old Teresa Martin was murdered. The police still do not understand the significance of the message carved into her stomach, quote, FB Frenchie, I love you, unquote. They aren't sure if it's a clue or meant to mislead investigators. What is known is that the message has not helped lead them to a suspect because the case is cold. Number 1. Vickie Lynn Harrell. In the summer of 1972, 25-year-old Vickie Lynn Harrell lived in an apartment in Bloomington, Indiana. She was a single mother with a young child. She and her daughter shared an apartment with another single mother with a young child. On the evening of August 12, 1972, Vickie worked her shift at the menswear department at Kmart. She never returned home, and her roommate alerted the police. 2 days later, a highway worker found 25-year-old Vickie Harrell's new dead body floating face down in a ditch near Spencer, Indiana, which is about 20 miles from where Vickie was last seen. It was determined she had been sexually assaulted. She had been strangled to death with a rope. Above her abdomen and below her chest, the killer had carved the letters K and N into her skin with a knife or another sharp object. The police have no idea what it means. The police learned that Vickie was last seen around 9:50 p.m. getting into her car in the parking lot of the Kmart. On the same day that Vickie's body was found, her car was found in the parking lot of College Mall, which is about half a mile from the Kmart. The police speculated that Vickie knew her killer. She either felt safe letting him into her car, or he convinced her to park her car and get into his vehicle. He killed her at an unknown location and then dumped the body in the creek. The police also learned that about a week before Vickie was murdered, while her car was parked behind a bar, someone smashed her back windshield. The police do not know who broke the window or if the vandalism is connected to her murder. The police have no idea who killed Vickie. They're also unsure what KN means. There was speculation that the killer was responsible for another murder that happened a month after Vickie was killed. On the night of September 15, 1972, 19-year-old Pamela Millam attended a sorority event at Indiana State University in Terre Haute. Terre Haute is about 60 miles from Bloomington. Both are college towns. Pamela left around 8:30 p.m. but never made it home. The next day, Pamela's father found her car parked in the parking lot at the university. It was a different parking lot from the one Pamela had parked in for the sorority event. Her body had been stuffed into the trunk. Pamela's body was fully dressed and there were no signs of sexual assault. She had been bound and gagged. The cause of death was strangulation with a clothesline. For several reasons, many people thought the two murders were connected. Both were young white women who were strangled to death with a ligature within a month of each other in college towns that are about 60 miles apart. They were both last seen heading towards their car around the same time of the evening. Then their cars were found abandoned in parking lots close to where they were last seen. While there were similarities, the police never officially linked the two murders. Then in 2019, the police announced they had made a breakthrough in one of the cases. Thanks to genetic genealogy, they had discovered who had killed 19-year-old Pamela Millam. The killer was identified as Jeffrey Lynn Hand, who was about 23 at the time of the murder. Hand was a weightlifter and karate expert. He also had a disturbing criminal record. On June 16, 1973, Hand picked up Jeffrey and Carol Thomas, a married couple who were hitchhiking from Chicago, Illinois to Evansville, Indiana. Hand took them to his home, where he left Carol tied up in a storage bin. Hand explained he needed $500, but the couple didn't have much money. Hand hatched a plan where he would keep Carol captive and then take Jeffrey to a rural area where he would leave him tied up. Once Jeffrey freed himself and got Hand the $500, he would release Carol. Hand and Jeffrey then drove off in Hand's car. While they were gone, Carol managed to escape and ran to a neighbor's home. The police were waiting for Hand at his home, and they arrested him when he returned. Hand confessed he had murdered 22-year-old Jeffrey Thomas. He shot him in the face, stabbed him 8 times, and slashed his throat. Hand led the police to the body. Hand managed to get into more trouble in jail while awaiting trial. He savagely assaulted another inmate. Hand's trial for the murder of 22-year-old Jeffrey Thomas in October 1973 lasted 10 days. He was found not guilty by reason of insanity. In August 1975, he was declared insane in the kidnapping of Carol Thomas. He was sent to a psychiatric hospital. Amazingly, Hand spent less than 2 years at the psychiatric hospital, then he was released in June 1976. On January 24, 1978, Jeffrey Hand, armed with a gun, forced his way into the car of 25-year-old Susan Matlock, who was getting into her vehicle at the Markland Mall in Kokomo, Indiana. Hand got into the driver's seat and drove off with Susan as his captive. Several witnesses called the police. Police arrived quickly and blocked in Susan's car. Hand got out and ran away. A police officer, Vernal Baugh, chased him, and Hand shot the deputy twice. 2 more officers arrived on the scene, and Hand was taken away. The officers opened fire on him and shot him 3 times. Susan Matlock was uninjured. Deputy Vernal Baugh survived his injuries. 28-year-old Jeffrey Hand died from his wounds. So when the police connected Hand to the murder of Pamela Millam in 2019, they couldn't charge him because he had been dead for 41 years. When the police announced that they were closing Pamela Millam's case, they did not say if Jeffrey Hand was a suspect in the murder of Vickie Harrell. According to the Indiana State Police, after 53 years, Vickie Harrell's murder is still considered cold. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, we'd really appreciate it if you subscribed. Also, don't forget to watch our shorts on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Once again, thank you for watching.